Most people think compounding only works if you start with thousands. But the truth? The biggest mistake isn't starting small, it's not starting at all. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, waiting for the perfect foothold. You ignore the tiny ledge right beside you. You hesitate. Days pass. Others climb past you using that same ledge. You wait. The ledge erodes. The opportunity fades. That's what happens when we wait for enough money or the right time. Compounding doesn't reward perfection, it rewards action. The longer you wait, the steeper the climb becomes. The earlier you start, the more the mountain bends in your favor. This isn't about getting rich fast. It's about understanding the quiet power of starting small and letting time do the heavy lifting. Because the smallest step taken early can become the foundation of everything. $5 feels like nothing. A coffee, a tip, a forgotten coin in your pocket. But in the world of compounding, $5 is a seed. Not flashy, not impressive, but alive. You water it, you wait, you believe. Slowly it grows, first a sprout, then a tree, then a forest. That's compounding. It doesn't care how small you start, it only cares that you start. The magic isn't in the amount, it's in the time you give it to grow. $5 today becomes 10, then 20, then 100. Not because you added more, but because time multiplied it. Most people underestimate small beginnings, but every forest starts with a single seed. Every fortune starts with a single dollar. So ask yourself, what can $5 really do? If you give it time, everything. Picture a single domino. Tiny. Insignificant. But behind it, thousands more, each larger than the last. The first domino doesn't look like much, but when it falls, it triggers a chain reaction. One by one, the dominoes topple, growing in size, speed, and impact. The final domino crashes into a vault door. It bursts open. That's compounding. One small push, one tiny investment, can unlock a future you never imagined, but only if you start the chain. Most people stare at the first domino, waiting for a bigger one. They don't realize the power is in the sequence, in the consistency, in the momentum. You don't need to knock down the vault, you just need to tip the first piece. Because compounding isn't about force, it's about flow. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. You're standing at a train station labeled Opportunity. Trains arrive every few minutes. Each one has a small price tag. $10, $20, $50. You check your wallet. You wait. You want the perfect train, the fastest one. The one with leather seats and gold trim. Hours pass. The station empties. A janitor walks by and says, "You don't need the perfect train. You just need to get on one." You finally board, but the train is slower, older, and the destination is farther away. That's the cost of waiting. In compounding, time is the ticket. The longer you wait, the more expensive the journey becomes. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The perfect amount doesn't matter. What matters is motion. Because every train moves forward, and the sooner you board, the closer you get to freedom. Compounding starts slow, painfully slow. You invest, you wait. Nothing happens. It mocks you. It tests your patience, but then, years later, it bends. Sharply, exponentially. That's the compounding curve. Most people quit before this moment. They pull out. They lose faith. But if you stay, the curve rewards you. Imagine a rocket struggling to lift off. It burns fuel. It shakes. It crawls. Then suddenly, it breaks through the clouds. That's your investment. That's your patience. That's your reward. The curve doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care how much you start with. It only cares that you stay long enough to see the bend. Because the magic of compounding isn't in the beginning, it's in the breakthrough, and once it curves, it never flattens again. You're staring into a mirror. Behind you, voices whisper, "You're not rich enough. Not smart enough. Not ready." You close your eyes, open them. The mirror now shows your future self, confident, wealthy, fulfilled. You drop a coin into a jar, the whispers fade, the mirror glows. That's the truth about compounding. It doesn't care who you are, it doesn't care where you come from, it only cares that you begin. Most people let doubt stop them. They think investing is for the elite, for the experts, for someone else. But compounding is blind. It doesn't judge, it multiplies. And the sooner you start, the sooner you become the person in the mirror. Not because you changed overnight, but because time changed you, quietly, powerfully, permanently. You find a dusty time machine labeled Compounder. You step inside. The screen shows two futures. One where you started with $20 a month at age 20. One where you waited until 35. The difference is staggering. Millions versus thousands. Freedom versus stress. The cost of waiting isn't just money, it's time, it's peace, it's options. Every year you delay, the curve shifts. The rocket takes longer to launch. The forest takes longer to grow. You exit the machine, run to your desk, and set up auto-investing. Because now you know, compounding isn't about being perfect, it's about being early. And every month you wait is a month you'll wish you had back. Start now, even if it's small, because the future doesn't wait, and neither should you. You're sailing calmly. Then waves crash. Lightning strikes. You panic. You want to jump ship. But you hold the wheel. The storm passes. The sun returns. That's investing. That's compounding. The market will scare you. It will dip. It will crash. It will test your resolve. But quitting resets the clock. Every time you pull out, you lose momentum. You lose the curve. You lose the magic. History shows it. Dips followed by massive recoveries. The storm is temporary. The growth is permanent. Stay the course. Hold the wheel. Because compounding isn't about avoiding storms. It's about surviving them. And the ones who do reach shores others only dream of. You walk past a crowd cheering for flashy wins. Cars, crypto, lottery tickets. You're ignored. Quiet. But your net worth grows silently. You open a folder. Your investments have doubled, tripled. No one claps, but you smile. That's compounding. It doesn't seek attention. It builds quietly, then shocks the world. Most people chase noise. They want fast wins, big headlines. But compounding is a whisper, a slow burn, a quiet victory. And when it arrives, it doesn't need applause. It needs gratitude. Because the real flex isn't what you show, it's what you own. Quietly, permanently, powerfully. You return to the mountain. The tiny ledge is still there. You step onto it. The mountain shifts. New paths open. You don't need wealth. You need time. You need belief. You need to start. Even $5 can change your future, but only if you give it time. Because compounding doesn't care how you begin. It only cares that you do. So start small. Start scared. Start imperfect. But start. Because the mountain doesn't move for those who wait. It moves for those who climb.